Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Commencing and initiating with the greatest God of name, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who is the special, merciful, and entirely merciful. My name is Salim Himat, and I'm English educator specialist at API currently. And today, at a first glance, I'm going to welcome to dignitaries who've made our ceremony so much so different that everyone really expected. And at the second glance, I would like to thank my administration and teachers who appointed me as a representative to represent and deliver a speech by representing them. It's going to be a proxy war. Thank you. God bless you. If you want to be someone that you've never been before, you have to do something that you've never done before. And it's not what I say at all. It's what Brain Tracy says. And verily, it's not what Brain Tracy says. It's exactly what he has observed and extracted over years of research, well-researched methods. But as long as I know from these words, from this single sentence, is that your fate is determined by the affairs you go through in your entire life. To whom you hang up, what do you eat, how do you speak? All these affairs have conscious and unconscious effect and impact and influence over all activities in your life, in your lifetime, and over what you do in your life. So, on the favor I've got from the teachers, the representations, and a proxy, there might be the protocols that I'm going to talk about, some rules and regulation. But remember and recall as ever that these speech and rules are particularly for those who are younger than me, not for the older, because I'm not that much smart to deliver and talk about the rules in your life to regulate your principles. But it's for younger. Rule number 1. There are two ways to see the world. Some people see the thing that they want, and some people see the thing that prevents them from getting the thing that they want. In order to substantiate and clarify this claim, let me tell you a story. There's a true story. I and a friend of mine decided to go for a morning run in the Central Park in Sharinal, Kabul. So, on the weekend, the road runners organizations, it was very common that they sponsored the runners, and it was very common that at the end of the races, they would give some things free like apples and bagels. And on this particular day, when we got up to the end of the race, I said to my friend, let's get a bagel. And when he turned around, when he looked around, and when I saw the curvature that bounced out of his mouth and eyes, he said, oh, don't you know that line, how lengthy it is, how distant it is, and how rude you are in still requesting me to go there for a free bagel? And I said, what? It's kind of a free bagel. What's wrong with that? And he said, no, that's too long line, and I can never want to, because I don't have enough energy, I don't have enough patience to wait there. I said, okay, right? Hang up for a while, and I'll be back here. I walked toward the line, and after waiting a bit, I stand on the line, and when I got up I leaned in between two people, I stretched my hand, put it in the box, and pick up 2 bagels for my friends. And that day, I realized that there are 2 ways to see the world. Some people see the thing that they want, and some people see the thing that prevents them from getting the thing that they want. It's too crucial. Remember it. I could only see the bagels. You could only see the line. Right? And no one got mad at me. This was the intriguing part of C there. No one got mad at me because the rule is you can go after the thing that you want. And you cannot just deny someone who is going after the thing that they want. You don't need to go in the way. You don't need to do it. You don't want to stay in the line. You can do it in your own way. And it's not just everybody else has done it, right? It's quite important. Rule number 2. Take care of each other. Right? The United States Navy SEAL are perhaps one of the best elite warriors in the face of the earth. I won't say the best, prestigious, because that could be a kind of exaggeration, so I would avoid it, but they deserve it. They what? They deserve it. So once upon a time, a SEAL was asked that who makes it through the selection process? Who is able to become a SEAL? And he said that verily I can't tell you the kind of person who becomes a SEAL. I can neither tell you the kind of person who is able to become a SEAL. But I can tell you the kind of person who never and don't become a SEAL. He said, you might see some guys showing up with bulging muscles, with huge tall height, showing to the world, proving to the world how tough they are. None of them make it through. You'll see some people, the preening leaders, who want to delegate their entire responsibilities and nothing do or thing by just solo and they're alone. None of them make it through. The star college athletes that have never been really tested into the core of their being, none of them make it through. None of them make it through. He says some of the guys that makes it through the selection process are skinny and scrawny. Some of the guys that makes it through doesn't have and doesn't possess anything to give to help to someone. Physically spent, emotionally spent and depleted, right? But somehow, some way, they dig deeper, deep inside themselves to find energy to help the guy next to them. They become SEALs, he said. If you want to be an elite warrior, it's not about how smart you are, it's not about how fast you are, and it's not about how tough you are. All you've got to do is to take care of the person who is next to you. If you want to be an elite warrior, you better really good. You better get really, really good to the helping the guy next of you, to the right of you, to the left of you. That's how we people advance in the world. The world is too dangerous. The world is too difficult. And if you still think that you can control everything that happens in your life, if you take care of everything that goes through your life, the course, the world is filled with vacuums. The world is full of fluctuations. You might get really thick and down, go up and down. So practice being help each other. And when you realize what core of being you had to do, it's like you'll see some of the people in your hardships that they could help you. They really wanted to help you, but they didn't help you because you were pretending that you have everything under your control. Number 3. In the 18th century, there was something that spread across the Europe and eventually made its way to America. It was known as peripheral fever, or also known as a Black Death of childbed. This Black Death of childbed was a rage of the Europe. Basically what was happening, women were giving birth and they would die within 48 hours after giving the birth to child. And what get worse and worse and worse over the course and over the century. And in some hospitals, it was as high as 70% of the women who were giving birth would die as a result of giving birth to a child. But this was the Renaissance. This was the time of empirical data in science. We're throwing away things like tradition, like mysticism, like superstitions. And these were men of science, these were men of doctors. And these men of doctors, these men of science decided to come across and figure out what's the reason. What's the really silly reason that we've gone away through our entire life and they make us bitter. And in the morning, they were conducting autopsies that the women had died. In the afternoon, they would deliver babies, and thus they would eliminate their rounds. It was until middle of the 18th that Dr. Olmer Harmers came and said with a conclusion that all those doctors that were conducting autopsies in the morning, they weren't washing their hands. And thus she pointed out that, guys, you're the problem. But all of them ignored them. And all of them call him crazy, that you're lying. That's not a problem. The problem is very important because we're going through the efforts to figure it out. But until several couple of years ago, all the doctors with a universal regarded fact that this was right. This was underlying reason for being a childbed of the Black Death. So the point here is, what I'm trying to say and what I'm about to say is take accountability of your actions. You know, we've got a lot of people, they do a lot of things, but they don't take accountability of their actions. This is quite important. And Morley have said the story among the classes that we need to do so. There is a part of the world which is known as Southern Eastern Asia. Right? Many of the students, they will recall it because I've expressed the story when I was teaching in the class at a period. So Southern Western Asia, it consists of the countries like Singapore, Indonesia, nearby Philippines. So they have common conventionally and they've common something traditionally which is known as sculpture industry. And one of the sculpture maker was asked that how does it make through and how did he make such beautiful things out of stones? And he replied that, God, I don't want to do something special. It's not about an exclusive idea that I do. I just do trim over the extract part of the stones. I just getting it down, and thus the beauty become apparently visible. This is what I've got to do. I don't do something special. Don't give me the credits what I've got to do. Right? So what it shows, the moral of the story is that we all do. We all inherit in with our different capabilities. And all of the things that we've got into and in bold, we've got in since we've been created, right? So what we've got to do is to launch an external stimulation to it. That's the beauty will become apparently visible. So this was a short speech, and I'm very thankful for you attentively listening. And it's what an honor for me to exchange fuses with all of you guys. Wonderful. Thank you. God bless you.